It's Paul from Drums and Rums with the Backbeats Meets the Spirits. And on this episode, we're going to talk to the owner of the company Club Tiki right here. So we're going to learn about this product, learn about what they've got going on, learn about this hot moving seltzer that's taken South Florida by storm. And we're going to get right into it. And let me introduce you to the podcast, Elliot from Club Tiki.
Hello, Rum and Drums family. Actually, it's Drums and Rum. I was actually always curious, why not Rums and Drum?
D becomes before R.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That was a good one. That was a good setup for me, too.
Actually, I don't know if anyone's ever actually asked me that question about why one before the other.
No, when I was doing the things that you're going to talk about today for you, and the whole time I'm like, I think I'm doing something wrong. Because I go on your page and I'm like, oh, crap, I am doing something wrong. I switched the words, and I'm typing in rum and drums. And I'm like, I don't understand. I was like, why is it not matching? And I'm like, you know what? What can I say? Sometimes in my head, everything sounds better.
No, it's. I think all the rum guests say that, and all the drum guests say the opposite.
Okay. That
So,
makes sense, though. But that makes sense.
right. So I know it's crazy. So as the name has been referred to as, our previous guest had said, drums and rums. Okay, that goes together like milkshakes and hand grenades.
Oh, shit.
So he goes, but okay, it works. It's catchy. It's kind of, it just happens to do its thing. So I'm like, all right. But the funny thing is, and I know I don't want to talk all about me, but I'll say this and we'll move on. I do sometimes have a challenge though with the name, especially when I feel that reach out to drum guests that may be in recovery, right?
Okay.
Or don't want to be associated
With
with alcohol, right? So again, I'm fearless when it comes to reaching out to guests to have on who I think would be an interesting conversation with. Maybe some of it's who I think it is, but like Ringo Starr. Could I ever get Ringo Starr? He doesn't drink anymore. Can I ever get John Bonham from Led Zeppelin's son is coming to Boca or here next month or something soon with Sammy Hagar. He's also in recovery, So I'll reach out to them, but I'm like, it's worth a shot, But so welcome to our drum shack here, where we tape our Friday night biggest happy hour in a half an hour, and you've been on as a guest in the happy hour, and then you also join us. I know when you can in the chats as well too, which is pretty fun too. So.
No, I'm actually excited to actually be here because, we keep on planning. And then I realize I'm like, crap, I didn't answer his text message. And then I go back the next day and you realize, just like you and I both work other jobs,
Right.
You realize time is never on your side. And time goes quick.
Yeah.
Because we planned this since the first week, before January hit. We wanted to do that Friday. And then another Friday, and I'm like, man, I gotta set.
And when did we first start talking? Actually, like maybe October?
I'm gonna say
something like that.
I'm gonna say first week of November.
Okay.
First week of November, because we launched November 17th. I think about that for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know, and here we are, almost the end of January.
Yeah.
Which we thought COVID was slow. 2020 was slow. 2021 made up and sped up, right? And even though we're still kind of under certain things, right? But it's getting better. And then we'll see what 2022 holds for us, right? So not hopefully, I know what 2022 will hold is this right here, right? So can we go ahead and pop a few open here? We popping.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So we got a couple of. All right.
Funny, if you and I would have talked about 2-3 years ago, and you would have said to me Seltzer and Rum, I would have thought you were nuts. I said, how can somebody drink seltzer and rum put together? And then when we started, doing our little concoction, I said to myself, I don't think anybody could top us. And again, it takes time and obviously money. It takes effort and trying to figure out, what's the best combination without tasting the seltzer, without tasting, too much sweetness, too much this, and too much that. And I'm proud to say we're the owners of this company because it takes a while and it takes some time, and it takes good people to be around to figure everything out. Cheers. See, you don't
Man.
taste the seltzer. You don't taste the
No,
seltzer.
no,
and
there's not. Yeah, and there's not a lot of like anything carbonated, right? There's a lot of gas to it, right? And which fills you up.
Yep.
And then of course, obviously if you're selling products, you don't want to fill people up too quick, right? So, and this is very crisp. And this, all right, so this is so let's talk, and then I know we're gonna go all over the place here with this conversation. So you got two products here in front of us. One's what we're trying right now is the Pina Colada, and then the other one here is Blue Hawaii.
So let's talk about the Blue Hawaii. Everybody
Okay.
knows Pina Colada.
Yep.
A lot of people will text me and go, "Hey, what the hell does Blue Hawaii taste like?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I said, "What does it taste like to you?" It's like ginger ale. I said, "That's what it is. It's a hint of ginger." I said, "In the Blue Hawaii, it took me a couple of times to drink it and drink it and drink it, and I couldn't figure out. I'm like, what the hell is that taste?" That same night, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's ginger," because you don't see when a person who's doing the ingredients itself, you don't see anything until the finishing product is done. So they'll send you a sample and say, "Hey, this is a 4.5. This is what it tastes like." And I'll go, "No, reformulate it again. I need more rum. I need a better taste." And because again, no matter if you're knowledgeable with rum or not knowledgeable with rum, you can't tell them to add more fizz or more of this.
Yeah.
So by the time they were done, when we hit it at 7.5, I said, "Man, this is it." Because going any higher, you might as well just drink rum by itself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so 7.5, and then what is the typical seltzer out there?
4 Truly and Claw are 4.5 right now. They tried the 8, but it still tastes the same. It's still the aftertaste, and it's an artificial flavor, even though it says, or not even organic. They use another word for it. I can't remember it, but they make it sound like it's
like imitation?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you
So-
could taste I mean, you could always see by the sugar content.
Mm.
If there's no sugar, all the things that you're adding on, like OJ or pineapple, that's sugar, sugar,
Right.
sugar. That's why when we even did our drinks, just to give you an example, we used a lot of reverse osmosis on ours.
Okay.
We tried to get as low sugar as possible, which was a little hard. But when you start counting calories on everybody else, you go, okay, you need 10 of these, which is 1,000 calories compared to one of mine, and you're feeling the buzz.
Right. No, I think that's where you can tell, right? When you're drinking something and it's not a natural flavored, it's hey, not I'm not going to call any particular company out, but rums, there's some rums like that too, right? And there's some natural flavors, some I've had some guests that come on and talk about, hey, a certain, I don't know, say maybe it's pineapple juice, let's say it's this normal pineapple juice isn't supposed to look like this, or because again, it's and there's some that are also added a little flavoring on the back end after distilling purposes. And my wife and I, we talk about all the time, and I think it might be a good follow-up conversation and podcast is, it's rum in general. A lot of people have that connotation about, oh, it's sugar. It's bad for you, too much. It's like, well, there's it might be made from sugar, but it doesn't, always end up like that.
Exactly. Well, it's funny when we were formulating this drink, and I kept seeing on one formula rum, on another formula light rum. I said, okay, I could tell you dark rum. I mean, I understand all of that. And I said, what's the difference that you're putting light rum here and rum over there? He said, well, you got to understand. He goes, light rum, it's the word. That's all that it is when it comes to formulation. When you write light rum, everybody goes, oh, less calories.
They know it, or right, because it doesn't have all.
Yes.
Yeah.
On our end, we know it's light rum or dark rum. And again, depending on the company, sometimes we could use. Sorry, depending on the drink, we'll just use regular rum, meaning either dark or a light rum. And it's funny. I think out of all the things that I've learned about all the other alcohols, rum was definitely the most challenging one
Hmm.
because again, you can't like vodka. What do you do it with? Potato, wheat, and I think there's one more that I forgot, but there's one more or a couple of more.
Right.
When it comes to rum, it's sugar.
It's yeah. You're either you're molasses or
There you go.
or sugarcane
And
juice.
that's about it. But in those categories, then you have the other pyramid going.
Right.
And there's categories after categories. And, that's why, I told you this, I think the first time we met. When I first watched your show, I'm like, man, how can you talk about rum so long? And then, no. But think about it.
Right.
Vodka, there's hundreds of companies. Rums, there are hundreds of companies. But rum only has 2 categories and everything else kind of falls in. And then you start listening and you go, man, I don't know enough about rum. And that's when you start going into other categories and trying to understand why rum is this way, why rum is that way, why it tastes a certain way. But it's funny. I swear to God, if it wasn't for your show, I probably, even though we, are the owners of this company, we have our rum is from Virgin Islands.
Okay.
And again, 2 categories as far as they go. That's how everybody goes. And when you start tasting it on its own, you're like, ooh, damn, it really hits you in the head. But again, in my mind, there's only 2 categories compared to all of the other companies that have vodka-based, there's hundreds of vodka-based companies. 100. Depending on what you like, gluten-free, not gluten-free, wheat, not wheat, potato, not potato. But your show is definitely the one that kind of took my spectrum to a different level.
Well, I appreciated that. It's and that's what I hoped for everybody is to, learn with me, right? Learn as you go. Have people that are experts in the vast industry, and talking to people that are local here in Florida. And again, we're the sugar capital of the country, at least the country, right? There's so much sugar cane to be growing, and to others that are in other places in the world outside the U.S. that this is where sugar was or rum was born.
Yeah.
Right. So and then there's even within that category, and it's interesting to see some of the different nuances where people fall within that spectrum too, or fans of the rum product. But I don't know. I mean, I get that rum, as you say, rum. Here's rum. Here's a new. You make sure you're hashtagging this one too. Rum is fun.
Rum is fun.
Rum is fun, right? So I don't know. I don't know how you can get all that excited about vodka. Really, come on. I mean, I know. I guess if for the catchy, flashy commercials with.
But that's what it is.
I don't know.
But this is what I learned. As crazy as it sounds, you don't get excited about vodka. I'm sorry, you don't get excited about rum, because if you really break down rum, who drinks rum?
Pirates.
Arr. It's either just like, per se, gin, the older generation. If you really start breaking it down, vodka has been, it's like Hennessy. Everybody knows Hennessy. Everybody knows vodka. Rum, certain type of an audience. Some people will drink it, some people won't. But vodka's always tolerated. It's one of those type of drinks. And with rum, I sat down and I said, man, how do you make a younger person understand how good rum really is? And that's very tough. So when we started even doing this, and I said, man, unless we get the younger crowd to understand that rum is not an old man's drink, they will never understand. Because again, connotation, vodka. Yep. Everybody goes for vodka.
Right. And and as a comparison, and somebody was just talking about this the other night, was Tito's. Tito's was this company in Texas, and it kind of started here, and then it took a while, but then all of a sudden it blew up. And I said to this person, well, it's not, Tito's is good. I know we're talking vodka on a rum podcast here, but I think we're trying to make a point. And I said, I think sometimes it went with it, because I always knew people that were doing keto would always just say Tito and Keto. That was the diet, right? Because that was what the only approved or allowed drink you're allowed, right? Yeah,
Liquid diet.
liquid diet, and so you got Tito's vodka and club soda.
Yep.
Because it was very low in carbs and and all the stuff that I guess the keto diet allows. So yeah, it's so vast, Elliot. This rum world, and I mean, there's like I said, there's some that do feel certain ways, and some folks that do feel certain ways about how the rum is made, to even certain rums that are flavored,
Yep.
certain rums that are not, not a certain proof, because technically it's, I guess, if it's not a certain proof, it's not really rum, so there's a lot of nuances, and it's, I guess a lot of people will say it's like there's like a rum, there's an now, and I'm gonna plug another podcast here. So John and Will of the Rumcast, and John's a member of the Florida Rum Society. Great, they've got really good stuff. I learn a lot from them too, and again, there's certain nuances about how it's a renaissance going on now with rum, because there's so much, there's so many places. Every time I turn around, I think about, oh, I would never thought they're making rum here. Like even in the U.S., there was a company up in Oregon, the company's called Just Rum, and they're making rum up there, and they're making rum in certain type of wood barrels that's specific to Oregon. So again, it's a different even flavor, but they're not growing sugar there or cane. Of course, they got to source it from somewhere else, but yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So so when I heard about this, I said, okay, I heard rum. That's fine. All right. Yeah, you got me, hook. So yeah, so you're just talking about that process of going through and developing the flavors. So how long did that take to work through that?
From the beginning, I'm gonna say it took about 6 months. So every month would be a new batch. So they would, in other words, they'll say, hey, these are the ingredients of what, per se, Blue Hawaii has. Okay. I'm like, okay, so, her and I will go to a bar. I'll order a Blue Hawaii. We'll try the Blue Hawaii, and I'll go, huh, there's a lot of rum in here. Because keep in mind, it's either watered down or too much of it.
Right.
I said, okay. I said, I like the way it tastes. I said, I've never tasted Blue Hawaii before. And again, keep in mind, I've never even knew Blue Hawaii had ginger. You always have, hints of things that you've never probably thought of until you started reading the list. If everybody knew what's in any cocktail,
right,
I guarantee you'd have more respect for a person who's now they're called mixologists.
Yeah,
it's not,
right, yeah,
bartender or mixologist. And they're mixologists for a reason, because anyone could take a cup of something and put it in a cup and say, here you go. But a person who mixes the 2 alcohols, the 3 alcohols, and makes a cocktail taste that as it should,
right,
that is a very tough thing to do. But when we started, the first month we got our, I'll never forget it. It wasn't sparkling. It was flat. So, I'll drink, especially when it came to Hurricane. Oh, I'm lying. I'm sorry. It was Mai Tai. I said, what the hell is this? And again, me personally, I was never a Mai Tai fan. For some odd reason, I could drink everything, but Mai Tai was always, yes.
Yep.
It has sweet. It has so many taste buds at once. You're not really trying to figure out. It just goes down, and it just doesn't go that smooth.
Right. Here's a juice that's sweet. Here's a juice that's tart, and it's kind of like
too much going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I sat down with her. So let's test it out. And we're looking at these bottles, and it was like the old school Coca-Cola bottles. And I'm like, oh man, this should be sweet. Open them up, and I'm like, ugh, okay, no. I said, this is not gonna work. Send it back, and I said, listen, reformulated for some odd reason. I'm tasting too much of this, not a lot of that. I said, there's not enough rum. They said, well, we got to take it up a notch. I said, take it up a notch. And they said, well, you do know, the higher you go in alcohol content, the less space you have in, per se, every gas station or, those type of places that sell low volume alcohol. I said, listen, I'm not worried. I said, why not? I said, if I'm going after this market, if I'm going after the culture that will destroy me in the long run, because the tiki culture is very different compared to any other culture.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to do this correctly because the next guy or a girl who's going to come and make this drink and make it into a 4.5, I said, it's going to taste horrendous.
Right.
On the third batch, I said, we're getting closer. My wife said, you think so? I said, I know so. I said, thinking is for losers. Knowing that you got a better product, that's it. When we came to the fourth batch at a 7.5 alcohol content, I said, this is true rum. You cannot get better than this rum. And, she said, why? I said, you can't taste the seltzer. I said, you cannot taste the seltzer. And everything you taste, like you said, we went on a boat one time and we're sitting in a boat and drinking Truly's. This was Claw. And I had to pee the whole time.
We'll beep out the other names.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other, it was wow, one of those type of things. And it was funny. I'm like, man, I have to pee. The whole time on the boat, I'm like, I didn't have much to drink. I'm like, okay, now I see the difference.
Oh wait, is this why we were talking earlier before the show about here in the Jupiter area that everyone takes their $100,000 boats or whatever it is and beaches them at the sandbar and everyone's really in the water? Is that because I guess they figure
what's the
point of getting out of the water?
There you go. It's cheaper to just aim into the water. No, but it's fun. It's always funny when you hear people's success stories at the end. Once they're bought out by a company or once they reach to the sales level if they want to, you never hear from everybody else who never kind of worked into that level. You never hear how much struggle you really go through.
Yeah. Because
the alcohol business is not an easy business. Everybody has a brand. Everybody has what makes you unique. Because again, this is a can. That's all that it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. During Corona, this was the most expensive can I ever bought. But you start realizing, why are companies per se like Southern Glacier or Breakthrough or RNDC, why they go after the most weirdest looking bottles? You have to stand out. In the seltzer world, what makes you stand out? Because now everybody's doing mango, everybody's doing watermelon, but what makes you stand out? So when we started doing tastings in Colorado first, and they called me up, they said, Elliot, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone, there's no, I like this better than the other. Everyone had one favorite, if not all four. I said, really? He goes, oh yeah. They chose your product compared to competitors that you have on a lower scale. Your product came out the best. I said, why? They go, they didn't taste the seltzer. They tasted the rum. They tasted, the pineapple. They tasted
the flavors
everything possible.
Right,
yeah. And I said, at least now I understand more in terms of how to distinguish every alcohol seltzer and only the seltzer brands. And trust me, there's amazing stuff out there. We've tasted one tequila seltzer. And I think out of 100 of them, there was only one that actually, I said, man, I'll drink it again. But after the 6 months, I said, man, what's the next process? Now you get it approved. And you don't realize during Corona, the word approved, it's not Amazon. This is not Amazon Prime overnight delivery. You can't pay more to get faster. It took us another 6 months. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But the funny part was we got approved. It usually takes 6 months to a year, depending on, companies and,
right, how busy things are.
Works.
Right.
We got approved within 2 weeks. Wow. And the distillery calls us and said, listen, you got it. I said, got what? He goes, you got everything approved. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. When we got it approved, I said, okay, call the cannery. And at that specific time, they had a cannery in Colorado Springs. I said, perfect, side by side. I'm going to try to get this product cheaper so I could sell it cheaper for everybody to have. Long and behold, they run out of cans. They run out of aluminum. I said, all right, found a place in Texas. Oh, some amazing company, American Canning. And I wanted to be, again, an American product. I wanted to be everything in the U.S. I want to be as much U.S. as possible. And we call them up, and they said, listen, our cans went from this price to this price overnight. I said, okay, I'm fine with that. They said, really? I said, one way or another, I'm going to get this done, and I want it in the U.S. I want products, every little element. Rum, again, at that specific time, the only place that we could get anything close to Colorado was Virginia.
Wow.
Was Virgin Islands. I don't know how the hell that worked because they're
Wow.
completely opposite spectrums.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, they were the only company that was shipping it faster than anybody else.
I wonder is, well, I again, one of the challenges, right, is in the U.S. for, we believe, the right reasons, is, regulations on manufacturing, and then, we're not totally destroying chemicals and so forth. But maybe that could play into some of that, either outside of some of that control, or I think, yeah, you talk about. I think there's a point there. I want to emphasize what you were just talking about, because the phrase, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yep.
Because if you had waited, you're right. I think if you would have waited, the pandemic has really turned everything upside down. This whole, and again, it's not just the U.S., right? And I talked to a lot of other folks on the podcast elsewhere and so forth, and everything's all upside down.
Yep.
And yeah, if you would have said, well, we'll wait it out and see how long and whatnot.
Oh, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
promise you
yeah.
that because it got worse. Everything got worse. When you watch, we're just discussing that, when you watch everything come through California or any other port, and you go, man, that could have been us, being looted in all these carts, and why take a chance? But the beautiful part about what we've created here, it's one of those things that, everybody could say, I did something. We all could say, you have a show,
Yeah.
and you have a show, but what makes you different than everybody else's show? You're not only a one-man show, you got a partner that, helps you out from the background. Nobody sees that partner in the background.
Right.
But the fact that there's always a partner in the background that kind of gives you everything else behind you, it makes us unique. It makes us unique, and that's one of the biggest reasons I think you and I clicked, because we're always on the same page. We're always on the same page, and I was afraid that, people in your society, in the rum society, would say, man, who in the hell wants to make a seltzer? And trust me, during the whole process of this tiki, oh my God, we went on Facebook and I decided to just introduce ourselves. About 100 comments later, I was destroyed by the community. Why are you messing up our stuff? Why are you calling it tiki? I said, what do you want me to call it? I said, these are signature cocktails. These are signature cocktails that your culture created.
Right.
They said, well, what type of rum is it? Give us the name. I said, I said, we got it in the Virgin Islands. What is the name? I said, listen, I can't give you that information. Why not? I said, there's secrets that you withhold, not because you want to, just because we can't give you that information.
Right.
And the funny part was, I'm not really good at taking criticism. No. I love taking criticism. Good criticism or bad. It's a criticism for you to think about, process, and then rethink or reevaluate of how you do things. But I've never gotten destroyed by some little guy over Facebook. And the funny part was, the guy who created the group, he reaches out to me. He said, Elliot, I would love for you to send me this product. He goes, I've always wanted to try a rum-based seltzer. He said, don't worry about it. These people are passionate. I said, would you say they're more passionate, or they just have nothing better to do and bully,
Give you a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny part was, all of a sudden, he puts out a comment. He goes, in this group, we're all neutral. We welcome everybody. So if you want to bully, you'll be kicked out. And I started laughing. I said, man, either this is going to go our way or it's not going to go anywhere at all. Because, again, even, we're talking about last week's festival at Fort Lauderdale on A1A, the Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but go ahead.
When I texted you, I personally thought, because, again, it wasn't a rum thing, but I said, it's either he's going to be there or not. I said, let me text him, see if he's there, because we found out about 2 days before. We tried to prep as much as we could, but when my wife got there, she sends me a text message. She goes, we sold out. So what does that mean? She goes, we have nothing. I said, did we bring enough? She goes, oh, we brought enough. She goes, but we were sold out. So, and going through like the Las Olas Festival, we had people. I'm not going to name names of these companies. Obviously, they were big companies, bigger than us, and they have a much bigger backer than we do. This is all done by us. But everybody was coming over, and they had these little comments like, "Our drink is better than yours." So my wife is a little bit like me. She said, "Try it." She said, "Try it." All of a sudden, they leave and then come back again. Take a little more. They leave and come back again. And she became friends with, one of the companies that they do also hard seltzer. They're not
Okay.
in the same competition as us. They just have, you know, they've been around business for a while. And the funny part was, the girl said, "Man, this really tastes good." She goes, "This really tastes good." And I said, "Well, that's what we're here for." But we had such a big line. We weren't expecting, to be honest with you, for the first time being in a festival on its own,
Right.
especially on Las Olas, because, that area is always booming with, all
There's always
restaurants and
something. There's always something, right? Yeah.
always something. And the funny part was when I got the phone call that we sold out, I said, "You got to be kidding me." And I said, again, it opened up a couple of doors for us, which was amazing. And that's how we want it to be. We want people to not only buy our products because just to support local business, but we want people to enjoy our products and understand that, again, you could always buy every other competitor, but a cocktail in a can is a cocktail in a can.
Oh yeah. It's not like it's these different flavors, fruit flavors, seltzers, and I'm not typically would be the seltzer person, right? And um, but this, like I told you, I'm like I could sit and definitely drink this all day.
Yep.
I mean, and probably get pretty, we'll have to. I think you all know what I was gonna say. But yeah, the flavor. I mean, trying to drink some of the other competitors are out there, some of the other big names in the market right now. Again, it's just very filling. I'll admit, yes, I have had those. But again, it's not my thing. And it's just the flavor just isn't there, and it's almost like just go grab your kid's juice box, or your
Put a
Capri
little
your
bit of
Capri Suns and put a little bit of percentage in it, and that's about it. And but really, I think that this is a 7.5%, even for people that really want to drink or really want to get their crunk on or whatever the kids are calling it nowadays. Um, this stands up.
Yeah.
This is right. It's not like it's every other seltzer that's out there that's just kind of yeah. As you mentioned, there are probably some other ones that are out there maybe in that range too. But I, I mean, I think it's very the logoing, all the branding on and everything on the can is very clean. It's obviously very and you talk a little bit about some of the branding and some of your how
Well,
you
the funny part was this was definitely not the look we were going for. I'll tell you that now. The original one, in my mind,
oh, so the original one is actually better.
no,
No, worse. Oh,
the original one was much worse. So in my mind, I go, what can people, everywhere you go, what do you always see? You always see bling.
mm,
You
yeah,
always see something that's screaming at you. Bang
right,
energy drink.
right, yeah.
Each and every time you'll see them, they're colorful. They're always colorful, and listen, even it gets me. And we started off with our first can, and I tell our designer, I go, "Listen, I want a gold can." He said, "Uh huh." I said, "Make it gold and black." He said, "Okay." All of a sudden, a week passes. He sends me a white can with a palm tree on it. I said, "What the hell is this?" I said, a black and gold." He said, "Listen, you're going for the tiki stuff. Where do you see black and gold?" I said, "In my mind, I see black and gold." So just for
Is that like the hat?
just like
Yeah.
that, for him to shut me up, he sends us a revision and he goes, "Take a look," and I go, "Huh, okay, I see where you're going with this." So I said the palm tree. The palm tree was really cool. Right where the club, the L itself, it would be a tree.
Right.
The day before, we already proved everything. This is where we're going. Before we send it off, he sends me an email. He said, "I want you to check this out." And bear in mind, we're already set on something. He sends us an actual tiki font, tiki everything, And I said, damn. I said, I hate you. He said, why? I said, this is it. I said, this is it. The difference back then, the logo wasn't here. It was basically the logo was up here or the logo was down here. I said, can you do it a little bit off center? He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he'll send it again. It'll look the same. I said, no, a little more, a little more. And I said, I think it's missing everything else. He said, what is it missing? I said, I don't know. And he goes, give me a couple of days. Let me figure it out. All of a sudden, we get a slogan. And in my slogan, at first I said, man, we're in a tropical place. What makes us stand out? It's the weather. So me and my wife were sitting and can. And the whole time, can. And for some odd reason, it just popped in. We canned the tropics so you don't have to.
Nice.
And that was it. And all of a sudden, we put it on the can, and we just looked at it, and I said, okay. I said, now we're headed somewhere. And all of a sudden, we started putting in all the other elements that is gluten-free, everything you could put in a cocktail. It really, truly is a cocktail in a can. And I hope, when people see this and they try this, they'll go, this is he's not selling a product just because he needs to sell, his ass off.
Right.
When they taste it, they go, man, it really is the champagne of hard seltzer. And, giving you just an example, one of my clients, sends me a picture during the workday, and she said, I went to the store and I bought your blue Hawaii. She goes, why isn't it blue? I said, well, to be honest with you, I said, pretend you're in a cocktail dress. You pop one open, the bartender gives you one, and he pops it open. All of a sudden, it goes all over, and your dress is white. So what do you think happens? Your dress is now dotted blue. I said, okay, I like that. I said, now, number two, I said, the blue color itself, is most of the stuff that we saw is artificial. You'll have one, and it was, again, Corona, hard to get. So she's sitting there, she sends me a picture, and it was a champagne glass. And she said, look at the bubbles. She said, this is not a hard seltzer. This is the champagne of hard seltzers. And it just stuck. It stuck because, again, how many people could say it's a champagne of hard seltzers? Right. You had the Budweiser. Was it Budweiser? Who, they also had the champagne of beers.
Right. Yep.
Everybody has that. And I said, man, maybe we should trademark that slogan. And I said, let's not. I said, but when I present it to people, I don't tell them it's hard seltzer. I tell them it's a cocktail in a can. Because, again,
you're going to right. It gets stereotyped and put into it.
100%. Right. They go, oh, you're doing the same thing that everybody else does. I go, no. I said, once you taste mine, and, God bless Primo Liquors. They are a truly, truly an amazing company, and them very well.
Big shout out to,
Benny and Koshal and Sam. Chris, everybody who's in that, organization, incredible people. And when you're looking at their liquor stores, and you walk through the just the refrigerated areas, and you go, damn, competition is massive. And one day I decided to stay there every single night and watch people. And I would go into the liquor store and watch people, and then I came to the sales reps like, did you ever try this? They said, no. I said, well, we're going to try it now. So I buy them 2 packs, open it up, and all of a sudden one client stand up, oh, try this, oh, try that. Oh, and all of a sudden, people just started buying. And the beautiful part was, again, it's not 2 to 1, or it's not, 9 out of 10 people will get mine. The fact that no one has ever tasted something different compared to what, the market shows, that's what makes it different. That's what makes it different. And again, compared to one little shelf that we have, there's a tiny little shelf compared to everybody else who's fully around us.
Right.
It makes us stand out. The packaging makes us stand out. And the fact that it's a classy packaging without too much screaming to the attention, but yet it still has those elements where you're noticing it without having too much going on. I want it to be a classy drink. I want it to be enjoyed by, people say, oh, I could drink 10 Trulies. And I'll go, yeah. But I said, you could have 1 can and still look good and still have that little, soft motion going in you. And why would you want 10? 10 shows a little too much that you're drinking too much. Again, not a bad thing, but I'd rather you drink mine and have one. And everybody else goes with the following question. Oh, well, what about your sales? Do you really want only, people to buy one? I go, no. I said, once they drink one, they start looking at another flavor and another flavor and another flavor. And that's how we go. That's why when we did those 4 flavors, it was funny to me. We did a smaller batch of the other 2, as you and I discussed.
Right.
And I think the Hurricane, hopefully March, April, we'll have the other 2 and we'll have a variety pack. I think Hurricane is going to take people by storm.
Wait, did you just,
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes, I
okay.
did.
All right. Oh, you were waiting to use that
did.
pun, weren't you? Yeah, hold on. Where's the rim shot? But
No, the Hurricane.
I think if you got it, and I don't know if you could wait till June, go blow it up on June 1st. That's the start of hurricane season.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
That's true. Get drunk on hurricane season.
There you go. That's right. Have a hurricane party.
Let's have a hurricane party. That's the best way to have a hurricane party.
That's right.
But we're going to tackle each. We already have all the flavors lined up. We're looking for a local facility in Florida to have a cannery and a brewery or a distillery, whichever way they go, to have everything one. Because I've never understood, to be honest with you, we always support local, and we always do. Because I'd rather have the mom and pop stay alive compared to all the corporations who have billions and millions of dollars to support and have the backing. But I never realized until one of my clients, she put on Christmas, she wrote, support local. And I said, man, I am a local. And she, it kind of, it was like an aha moment, because even though our distillery at that specific time, because again, Corona was in Colorado Springs, everything was made in Florida. From A to Z. We even tried to bring on a Florida-based rum. And at that specific time, the shipping was so much, it was hard to do.
So you were trying to bring Florida-based rum out of Florida to Colorado.
Yeah, to have every element made in Florida.
I get okay.
Because again, there's companies in Fort Lauderdale that are successful because they are a local brand. And again, we're not looking for success because we're local, but we want to be known as a Florida brand.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely a good plan.
Yep.
If you're and after we hit the stop button here, and we'll talk a little bit more, but just remind me, there was I know of a company in Tallahassee that does spirits and brews.
There we go.
And
as long as they have a cannery, I'll be happy, because those two
they are
usually hard.
Yeah, they're producing different beers and IPAs and whatever. So, and it's in the stores, and again, they're local to the Tallahassee, North Florida area. I mean, they're trying. It's just like everybody trying to get into the stores, get it out there, and get the word out there. And but yeah, let's pin that, and then at least I'll pass some some information along. So to your point about Florida and tying that all together, and maybe it's somebody you can reach out to. So yeah, no, this is it's definitely so. The pina coladas got a yellow coloring font on the cans, not coloring in the can. I'm saying on the
not black and yellow.
not black and yellow. The Hurricane is was it red?
The Hurricane has the red. Then you have the Mai Tai. Oh my God, why am I orange? Yeah.
Okay.
We have so many. And every single time I kind of look at the colors, because the Mai Tai and the Hurricane kind of look alike, but the Mai Tai is more of the purplish type of tint.
Yeah, okay. Like a magenta maybe?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's always, that's why the other hat that I have, and again, every time I try to bring a hat for you, has all the colors. So this one is gold, and I'll wear 2 different hats throughout the week, but the other hat is black and has all the other colors.
Okay.
I wanted white. I swear to God, I wanted white. But then you start thinking as a man who wears hats throughout the day, and you go, okay, you're working with per se tools, you're working with whatever. All it takes is one time, color, done. Black, you could pretty much.
That's true. I do wear a hat that it's a white hat. It's one of our guests last year. She's drummer. She's in like a teenager, and she goes by Drummer Angel. I think it's her. She's got a really cool logo, and it's the hat with her logo on the front. And I'm like, I love wearing the hat. I mean, as get a chance as a drummer is, but I wear it as more as this is my dress up hat. It's not the I'm going to the beach and to your point, right? I have my day hat and I have my nighttime hat. But
So last night we're watching your show, and my wife, again, you and I always talk, but my wife goes, "Oh my God, he has a big announcement." And I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "Do you know what it is?" And I'm like, "Uh, yeah, why?" She goes, "Oh, he's about to announce it." And I'm like, okay. And she keeps on going, and I'm like, man, I'm a little confused why she keeps on asking me the same question over and over. And I'm like, oh wait, I never told her the announcement is.
oh,
I'm like, she keeps saying, and she's like, we gotta watch till the end. I said, yeah, we're gonna watch till the end regardless. I said,
I did pretty good. I kept you.
yes, you kept her. You kept her. I already knew, so it was interesting for me to see your show, anyways. But it's I'm happy that you and I kind of partner up on this little venture when it comes to not only showing our product off, not only tasting, not only any of that, but you wanted to give back to all the people who are watching your show, and we came up with an idea, and I love the idea, and you said let's create a discount code.
Right.
He goes, I want my viewers to have a discount code. This way, they get something off, more than something off. And I said, you know what, let's do it. So we created a keyword for him, and it was so funny. He's sending me a message, and I'm redoing it, and then I'm like, man, I'm still confused. I'm like, okay, let me try this again. You're like, for some reason it's not working. I'm like, can you try this? And I'm like, yeah, it is Drums and Rum. I'm like, let me put Drums and Rum, because I kept switching, and I'm like, what? But I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy that you made the announcement yesterday, and I'm happy we're making an announcement anyways now. But when you go on Club Tiki Co, if you buy, you could always buy one case, one 4-pack. That's fine. But if you buy 2 per se packs each, enter your code, you get off. Not only you get free shipping, you get off on the whole purchase itself. Excellent. And what I'm viewing with everybody who's ordering, when they put the code in, I guarantee you, I'm not a couponer, but when it comes to online codes, I will use them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the difference between me going into a place and using a coupon, and I'm like, can I please have this? It's completely different when no one else sees this, because who doesn't want to save money?
Oh yeah.
Especially nowadays,
sure.
You don't know what's up next, so you want to save a couple of bucks, if not more than that. Why not?
Oh yeah. Well, you've seen. Well, there's even apps now that are built into the browsers. There's one called Honey. There's like all these. Yeah. They'll have these little apps, and they'll tell you, they'll try to find a code, save you some money, and let it run, and it finds stuff for you, which is kind of cool. So yes, so yes, thank you, yes, for the code. And again, for those that are there, you're listening to this podcast, right? And again, we were just talking about actually how cold it is right now outside. It is January 23rd. We're taping this podcast episode, and it's actually pretty chilly here in South Florida for us right now.
The weather outside is frightful.
And we've got definitely something delightful. And so yeah, you definitely want to order some of this. If you're stuck in your house right now in the snow, and you got, what else is there to do? You can't go out. It's cold. Just look, order some of this. Use the product code Drums and Rums, and you can sit and have your own tiki party in your house while it's snowing outside. Because look, like they said, they've canned the tropics. So you definitely get you in that mindset of feeling warm, feeling like you're ready for the summer, right? You're already ready. You're already ahead of the game. Again, if you've got Club Tiki, and before you come to Florida for vacation, you already know about this.
Yep. If you put it this way, we, one of the people reached out to us, and after having our drink, she goes, I just want to let you know, I feel like I'm in Miami. And I said, where do you live? She goes, Michigan. I said, oh, crap. She goes, I'm not going to lie to you. I did the 4-pack by myself. She goes, I decided to record myself. And I said, okay. She goes, and I just decided to kind of sell your product without selling your product. And I said, okay. And all of a sudden, she just goes, like, she's done TV forever. And all of a sudden, we're pop stars and movie stars. And she just goes naturally. And she goes, I'm going to tell you this. She goes, I had 4-pack myself. She goes, I'm good.
I don't even feel like I'm in Michigan right now.
No, no. It's funny.
That's that, and that's the kind of the growth you want. It's organic.
Yes.
It's happening, and where it's great that if you don't have to do as much work. I mean, I know you are. I know you guys are, right? But that's the best kind of the word of mouth, and you're letting other people do the speaking of the gospel, spreading the gospel of Club Tiki,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Listen, we work with many influencers around the whole country, and I'll send it to them. And I say, before you commit to anything, before you start promoting us in your state or whatever, I want you to taste it. If you don't like it, I'd rather not, let's not move forward. And they go, why do you say that? I said, well, you got to believe in my product.
Yep.
I said, you got to believe in my product. And one guy yesterday, which was funny as hell, he made a commercial for himself. And in this commercial, these two friends of his walk into his house with another company brand. And he decided to do a video of, oh my God, what's that movie called again? Oh my God. With Denzel Washington recruiting.
Oh, training day. Oh,
And the last scene before, obviously, he gets killed, he puts on this whole thing and he goes, you're not walking into my house drinking, another competitor. This is Club Tiki. But it's those little things that makes it more funny for us because it's I like everything organic. And I tell everybody who we work with from different states, and I go, if it's not organic, I don't want you on my team. I want you to love my product even before you go, I want to work for you. Everybody wants to work for somebody. But it's much easier when you believe in a product and you know it's going to sell in your state. Listen, just like you believe in us the first time you and I talked. You and I talked a while ago, and, even with Benny at Primo's, him and the owner of Primo Liquors, Koshal, were the first people to actually see our product. And they said, listen, if you could make this happen, you'll be good. He goes, because even other competitors that work with them, they go, we've watched them grow with one drink, and now they have 60.
wow.
So, a step at a time. And like I said, I'm glad that you and I met organically, and everything in the world, it's either there or it's not. It's either organic or it's faked. I want it to be as real as possible. That's why it's funny. I'm not much of a drinker, but everybody who comes into, our world, they go, man, we know you don't drink. I go, I don't drink. I said, I don't, 1 cup for me is more than enough. As you could see, I got nothing holding me down. But we'll sit and, you'll have our friends come in with Club Tiki and they go, oh man, we got to drink. We're with you now. And the funny part is, who I have breakfast with every morning? You're going to laugh. I promise you. With Mr. Yingling.
Really?
Every morning, same time, same place. New York Deli in Fort Lauderdale. Every morning you'll see, he's like, at first you'll sit down and I'll get my coffee and have my breakfast. He doesn't talk, he'll eat his, and all of a sudden, as soon as everybody has their Wheaties, everybody starts talking. And when I found out that he was Mr. Yingling, I said, holy crap. He said, well, I saw they brought, your Club Tiki in here. He goes, sucks that we can't sell it because you're obviously alcohol content is a little higher. He goes, but I had some. He goes, it's really good.
Wow.
He goes, I'm not a drinker like that. He goes, obviously, supports his own, but to hear that from a big man like Mr. Yingling was huge for us. And, like I said, I'm always honored when people give me good feedback. Even if it's bad feedback, it's very rare.
Instructive, right?
Yeah, it's more of control because they've never tasted something with ginger. And it's funny to me, they go, why did you go into the tiki culture? I said, they are definitely the hardest to please because they have a culture that is a very unique culture. It's a very amazing culture. And it's funny, even on Facebook, when you go into these groups, they all support each other. It's like people in your group. Everybody with drums, they support you. With Tiki, if you did it wrong, the scrutiny is there. That's why when people taste my pina colada, they go, "Man, it smells like a pina colada. It tastes like a pina colada." They
Right.
go, "It's truly, pina colada." And I
Yeah.
go, "But that's what we wanted. We wanted people to actually say, man, thank God it was you and not the next guy who took your
Right.
drink."
And look at, and who a big name like Bacardi got into it, right? Where are they? They were making like a, I don't know, was it a malt, more of a
Well,
malt,
yeah.
more and more of a malt.
Yeah.
I know it's a little there's a difference to it, um, but yeah, it never, and maybe it all morphed into hard seltzers,
Oh, yeah.
and so forth,
Well,
but
that's
the
why
same idea,
same idea.
yeah,
But that's why I keep tagging in all
yeah,
of our posts Bacardi.
yeah,
I want Bacardi to see and say, man, they're doing something different compared to everybody else on the market. Because don't get me wrong, there's a Mai Tai somewhere. There's a
yeah,
Mai Tai
right,
here and there, but getting the correct Mai Tai in a can is completely different. It's completely different, and you know, it's funny. Me personally, if people go, "Which one do you like the most?" I said, "I'll be honest with you. I said both of them are good, but the one that goes down smoother when it's obviously both cold is the Blue Hawaii." They go, "Why the Blue Hawaii?" I said, "Well, so you ever tasted a ginger ale? Yeah, that's what it is." I
it's
said,
so
"It's yeah,
it's a pop,
yeah."
right,
I
yeah,
said it
yeah,
just goes down, and you're not really feeling that you're drinking. You're feeling that you're drinking a ginger ale. I
right.
said, "Pina colada." I said, "I've tasted them all." I said, "This is definitely the best one on the market." I said, it is truly a pina colada."
And most people know, right? They know the flavor because they've had many more pina coladas than a blue Hawaii,
Oh,
right?
100%.
So
But that's why we paired them
yeah,
up.
yeah,
My wife was asking me, why don't we just do two flavors that no one's ever tried, which is
right.
the Blue Hawaii and the Hurricane. I said, to be honest with you, I said, if I do that, I'm working harder to educate the regular man who doesn't understand the difference between, a mango strawberry hard seltzer.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll be much harder. So I said, let's pair them up what's on the market and what's not on the market.
yeah, yeah. Because when you were talking about going into bars and asking and trying an actual cocktail, a blue Hawaii cocktail, I'd be surprised. And I know down in Fort Lauderdale, there's a little bit more cocktail mixologists,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And of course, some of the bigger cities, people are actually going to know how to make stuff. Because there's many times I'll go into restaurants or bars, and some people call me a dick for this. And I've talked about this on the podcast. I'll ask them to make a daiquiri. Like, oh well, we don't have a machine. I go, no, that's not what I asked for. I always sometimes think I went back when I started bartending the very first time, and again, I had no training, and I made somebody was it a whiskey and soda? And again, being from up north, there's like soda it means Coca-Cola, right? And it's like this isn't what. And again, you learn and you kind of lick your wounds and move on. But I'm like, it's just three ingredients. Daiquiri is just three ingredients. It's not that hard. Actually, you can tell what kind of bartender they are, how good the daiquiri is, because there's nothing to hide.
There's not, yeah.
Nothing to hide in that daiquiri. It's just three ingredients. Now, yeah, you throw it in the machine with some ice and all the pina colada goop or frozen stuff. Yeah, but yeah, no. Yeah, I think Elliot definitely for sure. It's whether it's the target, but again, whether it's getting the opinion of those that are, like you said, in the tiki culture, the tiki world, or even a little bit more in the rum world. And that's hopefully what this does is hey, there's tried something else, right? It's all about what tastes good. Hey, if it tastes good, you can't beat that, right? No matter whatever, you got to be honest. People got to be honest with it. So, yeah, no, like I said, I definitely see this, and yeah, this is gonna be big. So, are you if there was, obviously, I said I definitely want to make this said, you guys definitely believe in this product so much, right? You guys aren't right. You definitely believe in it. So if Bacardi or somebody come knocking, you still like to hold on to your company, or is it one of the? I mean, I know there's a price for everything and all that too, right?
There's always a
So,
price. Listen,
yeah.
everything's for sale. As
Do you want to put it out there on the podcast and let Bacardi know, hey, how
Bacardi? There's always a price tag, and
Yeah.
it's funny. We always talk about this, and my wife said, "Would you ever give it up?" I said, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know
Kind of like
because
your baby, right?
yes,
Yeah.
we've done other things in the alcohol industry, and again, it was completely not normal for we've done the first time. We've created a formulation for Prosecco Rosé,
Mm.
and there's a company called La Marca which does amazing Prosecco, and you could actually the beautiful part is I could talk about it, and people could research about it, and you could find us on it. So before even La Marca stepped onto the market of Prosecco Rosé, we were the first one by trademarks, by everything else. We were fighting to make a formulation of Prosecco Rosé. We went to Italy, and our friends in Italy have a vineyard, and they said, Elliot, it's never going to happen. I said, why not? I said, two grapes can't be together. They're not going to let that happen. So we went here, and we tried everything. And the guy said to me, unless you take the barrels and bring them to America
Mm.
and then make it bubbly, nobody cares.
Mm.
I said, man, that's too much work. I said, I want it to be authentic. Funny years, 2 years pass. La Marca came up with Prosecco Rosé. And I said, man, that's genius. But again, that's what makes us different. You have billionaires who can
Right.
make that.
Right. Make
know.
that happen.
But that's why it's funny. All of this started, and I swear to God, my wife is here. You could ask her. It all started with a dream. I had a dream. And I'm like more of the Picasso from far, far away. More like a Monet when it comes to drawing sticks and circles. And I started drawing a bottle. And I said, I don't know why, but God wants me to do this. And I'm not a, religious man like that. Started drawing. She said, man, here we go, another venture. And all my ventures, knock on wood, it's been, successful. And not because I think, there's somebody else looking after me. There's always somebody looking after somebody. But for some odd reason, if I'm going into any category, from a hairdresser to a mechanic to even, a sanitation department, I'm going to do it the correct way. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to do it 150%. Because at the end of the day, if you're walking into something, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's $1 an hour, if you can't do it with the best of the best of the best, there's no reason for you to be here. That's why everybody who comes across my little tiny world, it takes me 5 minutes to kind of size you up. And if you're not passionate about your job right now, what makes you think you're going to be passionate of working for me?
Yeah. That's an excellent point. There's a lot of people that don't know. Man, I was just that just triggered a thought. Was just saw there was some Joe Rogan clip, and he was talking about how people are miserable in their, and he was talking about if you have that one little passion, grow it, nurture it, feed it, and
Yep.
it turns into something. At least you have something that's, uh, you know, to continue. And a lot of people suppress that because they don't know.
Oh,
They don't know
100%.
how to life, work, family, obligations, and so forth. And yeah, and if you don't give yourself that little bit of outlet to grow, whether it's whatever it may be, right? Yeah.
Growing pot, it's okay.
No, pottery. I said, I know we live in Florida, and and it's medicinal purposes and so forth. So excellent. So what's coming up? So we start wrapping up. So what is coming up here for what's Club Tiki here? So we talked about you right? You're coming soon. The hurricane, right?
Next lineup is going to be the Hurricane and Mai Tai.
Okay.
Those two, again, completely different. I this is what you and I are going to do. Forget this for a second. You and I are going to have another show, and we're going to mix Club Tiki with rum. Because it is a rum-based company, so we're going to try to do cocktails that no one's ever tried in terms of, cocktail in a can, which,
Right.
seltzer, with an actual rum or any other rum-based company, and we're going to try to mix them. This way, we could find something completely different that no one else does. And you're the guy for it because, you're Drums and Rum.
And somebody says the rum guy, right?
You're the rum guy.
There's always a rum guy. Well, let's do it.
But
To me, oh, so wait, you are you trying to twist my arm to tell me that I get to drink more rum?
you get to drink more.
Oh, okay.
Who can complain about drinking more?
I know.
But Our next is definitely
Yeah.
going to be the next 2 flavors. We do want to have either a variety pack or I think again it's so much easier to mix and match. I mean,
Yeah.
pull out and
Yep.
pull back in, and everything is kind of done for you. But we do want to give people more variety. This way, they could actually enjoy the tiki flavor and the tiki culture itself,
Right.
and not only enjoy the flavor, but enjoy learning their culture. Because look at Fort Lauderdale. Like we were just talking before we started the show. Look how many tiki bars that are actually here.
Yeah.
Creepy tiki.
Yeah. Yep.
All these little things. And before we finish up, I had a gentleman. I was walking, and he goes, "Man, my friend owns this club." I said, "Which club?" He said, "Club Tiki." I said, "Okay." He said, "Where'd you get the hat?" I said, "It's my hat." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I made the hat." He said, "Oh, I didn't know you were allowed to take somebody else's name." I go, "No, I trademarked that name." I said, "I have a rum-based company." And he said, "Get out of here." So he calls this guy. His name is Frank. Okay. And Frank owns Casa Calabria in Fort Lauderdale. And he has a tiki bar. And I said, "Man, you got to get me in touch with this Frank." And the funny part was, everybody will always notice something with the hat. And I'm not a hat guy. I was never a hat guy until maybe my wife said, "Grow out your hair." She wanted a man bun. Obviously, as the viewers could see, there's no man here. There's more like a child with a lot of hair. But we're not gonna go there. Uh, but we, it's always, like I said before, it's always a pleasure not only to sit on your show to watch you, but you watch us grow, just like we watch you grow.
Yeah.
And you give us your insight, we give you our insight. And I think the beautiful part about what makes a lot of people different in this part of Florida, in let's call it suburbia, it's everybody tries to not find something what I could use you for, but more how can we both help each other
Yep.
grow with one
Right.
another. This way, one grows,
We all grow.
we all grow.
Right.
And I'm grateful for your show. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Remind me, please don't kill me. But the other show that you were on with your friends,
Yes. So jams and cocktails.
Jams and Cocktails.
Yeah,
He
and I
was
want
here-
to. Yeah. So Brad came in. So Brad was just on recently. So he was a returning alumni
on Friday. Yes.
on one of the Friday nights. He came in after just coming out from finishing a gig right here in Jupiter. He lives up in the Treasure Coast, St. Lucie County area, and he just came back on the podcast. The episode that just dropped this past week, episode 80, and he has a new season coming out. And so we got a little bit of a sneak peek on what they've got planned for the show for season 3. And one of the things that they were talking about was, focusing a little bit more on the cocktails and having, maybe some of the local bartenders in to kind of, draw on some of the local restaurants and bars, give some recognition, making some actual people who are actually bartenders rather than me who's making a mess at his house, or the lounge, the studio. But yeah, so jams and cocktails. So we will definitely connect, and then I guess also the Sneaky Tiki up in Stewart. Yeah, Stewart, and we definitely get you in front of those guys too. So, and yeah, I'm happy to pass the information along to see if maybe have you come on or do something with them. And again, they're a full live show every Wednesday night. They've been cranking it out for 100 episodes, and they just took a break during the Christmas New Year's time. They had to do a little move, change locations, and he's ready to come back at it hard. You take that little bit of break from something, and you're like, I'm ready to come back in, like Rocky, ready to come back into the fight. So yeah, definitely, yeah, they were good friends of ours for sure.
But we just spoke about that. You grow and they
Yep.
grow.
Exactly.
That's
We
what
help.
makes
Yeah,
it beautiful. Because
we're we
dynamic is amazing. Every time I watched you, and every time dynamic is there, and it's not
We're-
like trying to one stealing the show. And the
No.
other.
we're
It's-
supporting, we're sharing each other, and the
Exactly.
same thing is like our monthly Facebook group top contributor, trying to grow this little community. People are sharing maybe something about a drummer or music, sharing some cocktail recipes, showing again content that's related right to obviously drums and rums. And the same thing is, we'll work with a podcast guest that comes on who may have a brand or a company, product, etc., and ask them to sponsor for that month's giveaway. And I'm like, it's not for me, you can ask my wife. I got plenty enough t-shirts, I mean, it's not that I, wouldn't take, any newer shirts, but I'm like, it's not for me. I just want to pass it along because it's a win-win.
Yep.
Getting a company's brand name out there, giving it to somebody who's excited that they got something for free or whatever. They're growing my community. We're getting exposure. People are learning about Club Tiki, because they got a couple shirt, hat, whatever the case may be. And like, all right, this is cool. I've got my hat and they're wearing it and people are now branding. And again, we're passing it through, right?
Yep.
And it's, so yeah, no, this is exactly the same thing. I totally agree. It's like, we all got to work together and like Brad and we've been talking about trying to we maybe kind of do a little bit of building out a podcast network, right?
That's
Things
actually
like that,
listen, like I said, the dynamic when I saw you on the first time at his show, and I said, man, the dynamic again, there's only one woman and it's all the boys. And the dynamic is not different. The dynamic is all the same. You're just coming in with the kids you grew up with.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you made a show, just like that show on Comedy Central from Brooklyn. Man, I'm blanking on the show. It's four friends or five. Oh yeah, four friends who practical jokers.
Oh yeah.
They started somewhere. They knew each other since they were kids. But that's how they grew. They grew as one man.
And you can tell, right, because they're so close, they care about each other, they have that bond that it's they're having a great time.
Oh yeah,
right,
organic and natural.
Yeah, and everyone else was just there for the ride and enjoying all the craziness, right?
Listen, I guarantee you. I not only guarantee you, but I'm gonna wish something for this show. I enjoy watching you, and it's so funny. She'll text me, he's on, and usually, my mind is cluttered with everything else, and even with Benny every single time, from Primos, he's like, "Oh, how's the guy?" And I'm like, "Man, he's doing great. He's doing, and every single time there's someone asking about you. But keep in mind, you and I have not known each other that long for years compared to everybody who knows you in the community.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it beautiful because, again, this show is growing. You're growing. You go on all these little things that have to do with rum. Everybody recognizes the face. And all of a sudden, they affiliate you with a brand.
Yep.
And you are a brand. And, I only wish you success because, trust me, you're the first person who started working on a podcast. Even it could be, per se, one user, one viewer, or a million viewers. I always like to stick with the same people who started off with us. And I get this question very often. They go, "Oh, Crown Liquor and ABC Liquor is looking at you." I said, "Yeah." And they said, "What do you think is going to happen?" I said, "If you ask Primo Liquors, I'm there every damn day. I'm there every day. Why? It's supporting those 5 stores that they have called Mom and Pop, supporting local.
Right, yeah.
Everybody else is a big boy, so they don't need as many people to come in there because they have the business regardless.
They got yeah.
But the fact that they know that we're always there, we're supporting them just like they're supporting us from the beginning. Those are the people you go up with. And if you go on the same platform and grow together, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
As soon as you start walking in opposite directions.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Elliot. And like Club Tiki in I love seeing up and comers, right? And let's see how hard they're after it and how they really have their heart in it, and are they in it for the long haul and putting the hours in and and so forth. And then again, it's always it's like almost like maybe if this analogy works or not, seeing a band, right? And you see them in a small little club,
Yep.
And you're like, holy shit, I know, insert whatever band, right? And then a day when they blow up, like, I remember, and yeah, now I appreciate that. So we're gonna do this.
Oh, we're gonna
do this. Yes. So
remember, hope is for losers.
we know we're gonna do this.
We know we're gonna do this.
So all right. So I'm gonna hit you up with our rapid fire 4 questions. So these are,
Dig it.
we're going to see it. All right. So this is a segment called,
In 4 sips or less.
so again, these are first things that come to mind. All right. Yes or no. Don't overthink it. So in 4 sips or less, and since this is we'll call this right. This is a rum, the rummer side of the podcast, right? Is so, and I know you said you don't drink as much, but, and I ask all the rum guests this: neat or on ice?
Neat.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, so I think I'm gonna pick up a little bit on the accent there. So Jets or Giants? All right, no, well, you know what? No, well, hold on. No, I'm not going to give you that question because I don't. That's gonna. I don't want to alienate any. Whatever you say. So I'll. Well,
That was a setup. If you haven't noticed, he's like green or yellow, black or
So-
gold.
all right, here's one, and this should be good. So even though, like here in Jupiter, a lot of people that live here don't actually have been to the lighthouse, right? Have you been up to the top of the Empire State Building?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't going to ask you the Statue of Liberty because I figure every kid's field trip growing up in New York probably involves going to the Statue of Liberty or something to that extent, even though you got to take a boat to get there. So what parents going
I was about to
nowadays,
say,
right?
It was more of a botanical garden of the zoo.
Okay.
Zoo was closer. Parents allowed it. Statue of Liberty. Actually, we came when we came here. 94ish and to New York, and the first thing we wanted to see, because we understood, my father was taught us, you adjust to the country doesn't adjust to you.
Mm.
So we spoke English the day we touched down, and he said, you need to see and understand how New York works. So we went to Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, and the first thing we actually saw the first week of America, we saw the Statue of Liberty. And I think after that, when you're a kid, you see it in one perspective,
Yeah.
and then when you're an adult, you see it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I was just had another episode. I had a guest on, and they were referring to their family, like the founder of the company. Right, we're going to talk about like late 1800s, coming on a boat from Spain to Cuba, right? And I said, I had in my mind just thinking about that, like that scene where Vito Corleone is on the boat, comes through Ellis Island, sees Statue of Liberty, right? And as anyone who comes into the country, that is right. The statue is the beacon, right?
Yeah.
That everyone always So all right, okay. So like I said, I kind of figured that Statue of Liberty for sure, the Empire State Building, and here's the irony is, I had, like I said, grew up, was born in New Jersey, had not been up to the top of the Empire State Building. I guess maybe my dad, they didn't like to go in the city as much because it's, it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't, I went up there for the first time was probably in 2012, after I already moved down here to Florida and then went back up and so forth. So there's so much to see out there, right?
There's a lot to see.
So, all right. So
Wait, hold on.
there's 4.
I was about to wait.
Yeah, we're not over yet.
No,
Come
I'm
on,
just
man. Are you
checking.
trying to
I'm
get
like,
out of
man,
here?
I was quick. I was like,
Yeah. Oh, no. So in 4 sips or less, what beach are you sitting on drinking this Club Tiki?
oh my God. St. Martin, Bahamas. Anybody want to take us for a trip? Let us know. Phone number is 1-800. No. St. Martin Beach, the Bahamas.
Okay.
Anywhere in the Bahamas, anywhere in Florida. Florida has some. Was it Genie Key? Genia Key. That's about what?
We're
two-
down south?
Going north.
Oh, like up in the Panhandle?
Yeah, they have some beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
beaches.
The Gulf.
St. Pete. I mean,
St. Pete. Yeah, it's the Gulf. The Gulf of Mexico beaches is so totally different. We went over to Naples, or no, Coral. Why am I drawing?
No.
Coral Spring. No, Fort Myers. All right. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank on where I went.
Floridians.
It was so long ago with Florida, but yeah. So it was interesting. My kids were like, I was like, the Gulf of Mexico, the beaches on the west side of Florida, coast of Florida, is very different than the ocean.
Yep.
it's calmer, it's a different sand, and even on the Panhandle, you go up in the Pensacola, Panama City area, that's a different kind of sand too. So it's so great, I mean, I know hopefully we're getting there. I believe we're getting there with COVID.
Yeah.
And people getting ready to, and I think, or to travel again or feeling comfortable, but get out there, travel, support the tourism in Florida, right?
yeah.
Staycations, Florida's a big state, but
Stay on location, and then
and stock up on your station wagons and the family truckster with the Club Tiki for sure for the road trip. All right, so in 4 sips or less, since we're talking rum here. So and I know you're not a as you mentioned, a big drinker there, but
I never get high on my own supply.
what rum do you like?
Funny you ask.
Okay.
I'd say Gosling.
Okay.
Gosling rum. I think it's the smoothest out of the rums. I'm not a big fan of their. They have a seltzer as well. They do a dark and stormy, but their rum is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Their rum is very, very good.
Yeah.
And I'm also actually tagging them on everything I do.
Excellent. Yeah.
Because a Gosling rum. Actually, funny thing. Their son just got married yesterday. In oh my God, Palm Beach Gardens. Yep. Yeah. How do I know that? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they had a big wedding. The Gosling family had a big wedding yesterday.
Wow.
Yep.
It's amazing here in South Florida what, like you're talking about,
Yep.
Mr. Yingling and the people that live in this community and area, so forth. So, but it's all right. So that wasn't too bad,
No.
right? No, all right. I didn't ask any. Again, it's just fun to kind of, like I said, in the pre-shared questionnaire, typically, that I think we forgot, or maybe I did send it to you like so long ago when we first started talking about it. Maybe, I don't know, and we just never got it synced. But it usually sets the kind of conversation where where we may want to talk about certain things, and I learn a little bit more about the guest, and maybe somewhat educated, and to kind
I got a hashtag for you.
Okay.
RLM.
What?
Rum life matters.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that
Yeah,
goes.
yes.
Maybe we'll start our trend.
We can. We'll see how. Yeah. There's do we have that on a shirt yet?
No.
Okay.
I think we need.
A different trend. Why don't you say where you were going with that? JLM?
No, we had a different one, but I said, man, we should do a Club Tiki Matters. Tiki life matters, because Tiki life is a culture.
Yep.
And it is a lifestyle.
It matters.
Oh yeah, and it matters.
There's so much.
Yeah.
So much.
But
So, yes.
before we cut the show,
Yes.
go on our website at clubtikico.com. Enter the code Drums and Rum.
Rums.
Rums with the
Yes.
S. With the S. Drums with the S, and Rums with the S. When you enter the code, do 2 flavors of 2 4-packs each. You do get a discount regardless with his code, and you get free shipping. So support his show, support us, and anything, man. Whoever's watching the show, whatever we could do, I'm pretty sure in this world, there's always somebody who you don't think is somebody will taste a drink and go, man.
There's always that one that's out there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So if we could make a tiki club where any tiki plays better, let us sponsor your night, and I guarantee you'll love it. Not because we own it, but product speaks for itself. And that's what it's funny. That's what people kept telling us during the whole festival. It sells itself, and I said, man, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, it sells itself, and it sold itself.
Yeah,
it sold itself when it's a good product, and what more can you ask for?
No, look, there the other companies that are out there that they had a name, and again, I don't know who's backing the color company, but I mean, yeah, I don't know where they came from, but they somehow overnight seemed like it But like the other companies that are out there, oh, we're a beer company. We're gonna just throw a hard seltzer together, just because. And then again, it's almost like they don't kind of put a whole lot of
course.
into it, right?
They're going with the trend. They're going with the
Make
wave.
sure they don't miss out on Budweiser, Anheuser, or whoever it may
Oh, yeah.
be, right? Yeah. So, all right, well, cool. So yes, so check out clubtikico.com. Check out, order some of the products here. Again, you got to get started. You got to get your hands on this. Okay. So, and that's what I'm looking forward to is it's not that I don't mind ordering through the website,
He
but
likes the personal delivery.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, so Elliot's my personal drizzly guy, but trying to get into maybe some of the stores up here, maybe, or again, it's I did want to talk. There's a store here, a mom and pop kind of store that I visit, and I told him, I said I wanted to bring a couple in from the try and see what he thinks, and I've heard he's given some pretty good not criticism, constructive feedback to others who are rum companies or other spirits companies on some stuff. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, that's a lot of my guests always say, right? Hey, look, if the juice is in the bottle, it does all the work for you, right? I mean, there's a lot of that goes with it, but again, you've got to have the juice.
I was about to say, you got to have the juice. Branding is one thing. Branding is always one thing. You could put, a bow on a turd. As soon as you take out the bow, it's still a turd.
Right.
But when you put a bow and a polished turd, no, I'm joking.
That is not going to be the name of this podcast episode.
No, not a polished turd.
No. So, all right. So again, check out Club Tiki. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on socials. Especially follow TikTok, the Club Tiki TikTok world. Not just your page, but others that are it's blowing up.
Everybody who's tagging us, it's been fun. We spoke earlier.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I think the video that you had from the Las Olas, and again, just real quick for reference for those that don't live here in South Florida, is Las Olas is located as a street boulevard, main strip of the town. It's in Fort Lauderdale. It's where all the restaurants are. It's kind of like the happening place, right? The downtown area and so forth. A lot of clubs, restaurants, etc. So it's definitely Fort Lauderdale's cultural kind of place of a lot of things. So anyway, so the food and wine festival there is where we've been talking about. Is there's so many here. That's the great thing about Florida, right? That's why I almost say nobody goes to sporting events, because the weather's too damn nice to want to do anything other than being outside and doing something else, right? So, yeah, I mean, maybe get this in the Dolphin Stadium. All right, yeah, Joe, Dan Marino, hit us up. All right.
If you could still drink, Dan Marino, hit us up.
So I'll have to show you a picture. I put if you saw my social media from the other day of another company, yeah, I made a reference to another football player or two. So, but I'll tell you offline there. So, yeah, so check us out. Check Club Tiki. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother.